Hello, I'm Corinna Claus, PhD candidate at the Albert-Ludwigs-Universität in Freiburg, Germany. The paper I'm presenting, Can Moral Reminders Curb Corruption in Online Classroom Experiment, is a joint work together with Tim Krieger and Eckhard Köhler. The question we investigate is whether reminding subjects of the morality of an action can steer them in a certain direction. In our case, away from a socially undesirable action, namely corruption. We know that human behavior is not as clear-cut as the self-interested man assumed in theory, but rather influenced by the social desirability and moral implications of an action, amongst other things. This is especially interesting in atypical situations, which generate profitable opportunities like the current corona pandemic. In order to examine the effects of morality on decision-making, we compare the effects of two different types of moral approaches. The deontological philosophy states that the morality of an action is ascertained by specific rules derived from a set of personal or cultural values, whereas consequentialism judges the morality of an action purely based on its outcome. We thus formulate our hypotheses, namely that reminding individuals of the immorality of their action makes them refrain from said action, that the deontological reminder has stronger effects, and that, in line with rational choice theory, the probability of being caught leads to less corruption. We also examine the difference between economics and teaching students, gender, age, and the announcement of a COVID-19 vaccine, which was made unexpectedly during our data collection phase. For this, we employ an online classroom experiment with the platform ClassX of the University of Passau, which gave us the opportunity to facilitate a sizable subject pool. Our experiments were held at both the University of Freiburg and the University of Siegen. With 11 cohorts, we managed to collect 1,044 viable observations. And depending on their choice, participants could win 20 euros. About half of the participants were within their first term of study, and the gender distribution was almost even as well. We had about 2/3 of participants that were aiming for a degree in education, and a third working towards a degree in business or economics. For the experimental design, we first had the participants fill out a survey, asking questions about their demographics, studies, and a moral as well as self-risk assessment. After that, the participants were asked to put themselves in the situational context of being the responsible public servants in the Ministry of Health, purchasing the COVID-19 vaccine using the federal budget, either from company A for 20 euros or from company B for 40 euros, which included a 20 euro commission from B transferred to their private bank account. This was framed neutrally as a commission, but was evidently a bribe, which is frowned upon in Germany. A third of the participants received no reminder and functioned as our baseline group. The remaining subjects received either a deontological moral reminder, which stated that corruption is immoral, or a consequentialist moral reminder stating that corruption is at the expense of taxpayers. We furthermore treated half of the three groups with a risk to get caught, effectively creating a 3x2 treatment design. After this, participants had to make their choice between A and B, between being not corrupt or being corrupt with the chance to win 20 euros. A linear probability model with robust standard errors was used, with control variables accounting for the treatments, gender, age, self-assessments, and study-related dummies. On average, 21% chose to be corrupt, with the highest rates in the consequentialist, baseline, and risk treatment groups, as you can see here. Our main findings indicate that the deontological reminder works significantly across all specifications by reducing corruption, whereas the consequentialist reminder lost all significance once the self-assessments were accounted for, which showed a measurable corruption-reducing effect themselves. The risk to get caught, being an economic student, or gender showed no significant effects. The vaccine announcement also had no traceable effects. By examining the participants that ran the experiments more than once, we also saw a sharp increase in corruption and no effects for either reminder anymore. Thus, it appears that moral reminders are an effective tool to reduce undesirable behavior once, which are, however, highly depending on their framing and moral approach. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you.